How to make a 1.17 fully automatic Minecraft Dripstone Farm. Here's everything you need on top. The things on the bottom depend on how long your farm is. And don't forget you can actually craft dripstone blocks out of dripstone spikes. So we're going to begin by finding the area we want to build our farm at and digging a 17 by 1 hole. So I'm going to line up with this little thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Just like that. And then we're going to fill in these holes here. And then when we find the center block, let's go about here. Go down one more right in the center. So there should be 8 on either side of this block. Next, you want to continue this pattern forwards as long as you want. It doesn't really matter, just the longer you make it, the more dripstone you're going to get. And once we have our farm thing dug out right here, we're going to start putting water on each side. So make sure you have 2 buckets and you can make water sources out of those. So just keep skipping 2 and do the usual. I'm just going to speed this up because placing water is very boring. So once you have all that done, you should have these 2 little water funnels pointing towards the center here. So now we're going to make a 3 by 3 area like this, right here where the left side's lined up with the center. We're going to go down 2 more blocks just like this, all nice like that. We're going to place our 2 chests right here like that. Going to place a hopper pointing into the chest. You can see the funnels pointing in. We're going to get our slabs and put them above the chest just so that we can still open it like this, and the water will pour in. Let's just fill in the blocks above it just like that. Now we're going to get a redstone comparator, point it out of the hopper right here and into a block with a redstone torch on the opposite side, with a block, with a redstone repeater, with a block. And what this will do is whenever the minecart runs through and stops on here, it'll freeze until everything's unloaded, and then it'll keep going and picking up stuff just to reduce lag. Let's fill this back in. We can fill this in a little bit more, make a little staircase. Now we can go down and reach our chest. You can of course decorate this better on your world if you want to, but this is good enough for a tutorial. But now we'll need to do the actual minecart itself. So every so often just place a redstone block in the ground, and this will just do our powered rails. And we want to make sure we have one at the end. But don't put it on the wall because the minecart won't bounce back. If you put the redstone block here, make sure you put it on the floor. And again, it doesn't really matter. You need enough to power it to go back and forth all the time. And that one should stay on unless there's a minecart unloading here. You can put normal rails on the rest all along to fill this up. And then if we put our hopper minecart there, it should just start going back and forth. And to show you, if I drop some blocks, it'll pick it up. And when it gets to the end, it'll stop until it's unloaded. Next, we're going to go up 9 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to make our first corner of dripstone at the top here. And we want to go N1. So you can see if we were right here, it's this corner, but we're going N1. So there should be 1 layer of water on either side of this dripstone block, just like this. And we're going to make a platform like this all the way to the other corner right there. So while I'm doing that, don't forget to leave your feedback down below and also subscribe because we're really close to 200,000 subscribers. All right, this is done now all the way around the sides. And again, it is 1 block from the edge. It is slightly smaller. But with that gap, we are now going to go out and make a line of glass. And this will be exactly over the water all the way around. Now we should have this nice ring of glass all around the outside. And you're going to want to fill all this with water source blocks. But what I think is the easiest way in survival is using ice, just like this, where you would place water buckets and then breaking them with a non-silk touch pickaxe, which I will be doing like this. Get my non-silk touch. I had to re-record this because I accidentally used my silk touch. Let's break all these, and this should flow in and make all of this water source blocks. Nice. So now we're going to go back down and we're going to place our pointed dripstone underneath every one of these dripstone blocks except for 2 middle rows. So 1 row is going to be over the rail and 1 row is going to be on either side, and you'll see what I mean in a second. It doesn't matter if you choose left of the rails or right of the rails. I just chose left because why not? All right, now all of the tedious parts are finished, and you can see I have the row above the rails missing, and then 1 of the rows on either side missing. I apparently chose the left this time. So now let's go to the other side here, and we're going to make our little redstone platform for building stuff. And we want to be eye level with the dripstone blocks, so 1 more. Perfect. Just going to extend this out just enough to build. It doesn't need to be some massive platform. We're just going to break it in a minute. So we're going to line up with the rails right here. And then underneath the glass is going to be an observer facing towards us. You can see the little arrows pointing at us like this. Then behind this is going to be 2 obsidian blocks. And the second one's going to be on whatever level you chose for your missing pointed spikes right here. See, on the left side I have pointed spikes, on the right I don't, so the obsidian goes here. I'm going to have redstone dust, a 4-tick redstone repeater like this, and then a normal piston facing towards us right here. And that should point towards the other side of the farm. So now we can go back down and we can break all the scaffolding. So this is what it should look like from below, just like that. We're gonna go back to the other side and make the rest of the redstone over here. So let's go up again until we're eye level with the spikes, which I happen to get again. Let's make another platform for working, just enough. This should be plenty right here, okay. And now lining up with the rails right here, and then underneath the glass, we're going to have a sticky piston facing towards us. So it's under the glass, lined up with the rails like that, lined up with the observer. And then on the side with the repeater, we're going to make a diagonal sticky piston facing the opposite way. So this piston should be looking at the repeater like that. Going to place some temporary dirt underneath each of these. And then we're going to go to the front piston and place an observer on the opposite side. So the red dust should be right here. And then the same thing on this side. So the observers should be looking opposite directions. I'm going to place obsidian behind this piston right here. And then we're going to place dirt above this observer with a normal piston facing down below it and a daylight sensor on top of that. And this will make sure the farm runs every time it turns from night to day. So next we're going to get some honey blocks and we're going to run these all the way out to the edge over here. And for the record, you move faster if you're on the edge of the block. All right. At the end, I'm going to use a piece of glass just to save resources. So we don't have to, just use another honey block because who wants to do that? And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side with this sticky piston. Whoops. We're going to go over here and then on this side, put a piece of glass right here. So now let's go down. I missed the scaffolding. And let's break all this just to make sure none of it's in the way. So now we're going to need another row of scaffolding up here that's not touching anything here, just to make sure you don't mess with any redstone. And we can test it by clicking this daylight sensor to simulate whether it changes from day to night. It'll run through, it'll drop all the dripstone. It grows very slowly, so there's not much right now. And I forgot to mention, you definitely want to use honey blocks, not slime blocks, because if you use slime blocks, whenever it hits the spikes, it might just launch them over there into the field. The honey blocks do not do that, so honey blocks are better for this. And to make absolute certain that you don't get items stuck on top of the honey blocks, there is a really easy fix right here at the end. All you gotta do is get some non-sticky blocks, such as furnaces or glazed terracotta or obsidian, and place them on top of the honey blocks like this. Let me make the jump over here. I'm stuck. All right, there we go. Ah,